Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Ultimate Epic Battle Simulator 2, and we have something very exciting. We finally have B1 battle droids in the game, but not only that, we have also got ourselves P1 clone troopers in the game. That's right, we are going to have a giant Star Wars battle here today. We have 10,000 clone troopers versus 10,000 battle droids, but this is just a test run. We're going to test these troopers, see how they perform, and depending on that, we're going to make a very large-scale battle before the end of this video. So, if the clones absolutely dominate and destroy the droids, and the droids, barely kill any clones, we will know exactly how many clones to put on the battlefield for the big battle. And vice versa, if the droids curb stomp the clones. Of course, in terms of lore accuracy, the clones should be a lot better than the droids. We'll just see if that ends up holding true, I suppose. Either way, right now the clones are getting very, very bloodied in this battle. There is some brutality going on this here plains, baby. And the droids are also getting quite bloody. It looks like more droids are dying, but actually no. It's just about even here. Both sides losing about 500 to 600 soldiers, so maybe these troops are actually more or less even and not exactly lore accurate. I'm not entirely sure. We've still got a lot of battle to go, so, maybe one side will make a comeback while the other side ends up faltering. This is kind of one of those battles where it is a little bit of a test. We're just trying to figure out, how the Ultimate Epic Battle Simulator 2 mods will work with each other, and for future videos, what kind of power levels we can expect from each side, if you know what I mean. Either way, guys, if you do enjoy this video, please be sure to smash that like button. It really does help me out tremendously. Subscribe if you have not already, and comment down below if you'd like to see some more Ultimate Epic Battle Simulator 2 mods in the future. Either way, the clones here coming down this narrow pipeline against droids, and both sides are just taking an absolute walloping. But it does look like the clones are winning this by a little bit. Clones have 6,500 kills. The droids only have about 4,000 kills. So potentially the droids are a little bit weaker than the clone troopers at the end of the day. That's good. I like the lore accuracy in these mods. I'd prefer that over them being even-sided or anything like that. One thing I do wish, and I'm guessing that this isn't possible at this point or something along those lines in Ultimate Epic Battle Simulator 2, is that I'd love it if we could see blue laser fire and red laser fire. It's all just white at this point in time. I don't know if that's just not possible in terms of a modding perspective at the moment, but hopefully it becomes possible eventually. Either way, the droids are down to their last few hundred soldiers here. It looks like one clone trooper is worth about 2 battle droids by the ratio of kills to deaths, so that will be very, very good to know for the next battle we set up here, because we are going to ramp things up, baby. We also need to see how laggy these units will make the battlefield, because that will be a major thing. And there we go, 9,999, there we go, 10,000 deaths now, perfect. That's exactly what we were looking for. The clones smash it, yeah, let's get the next battle going here, very nice. What's up, gamers? I'm here to tell you about Instant Gaming. Instant Gaming is an amazing place where you can get some fire deals on all sorts of video games. Seriously, it's like 60 to 95% off, as you can see here. These are all of the Star Wars titles they have. They literally have every Star Wars title. You can also get XCOM here, Men of War Assault Squad 2. All of the games I play on the channel you can buy here for extremely cheap prices. If you use my affiliate link in the description, it helps me out a ton. So thank you guys for listening to this sponsorship, and thank you to Instant Gaming for continuing to sponsor the channel. Alright, boys, we now have 1 million battle droids versus 500,000 clone troopers. We're testing out the 2-to-1 theory on a massive scale here. And here we go. The fighting starts to commence as they both come into range with each other. Of course, a lot of these shots missing by a wide margin. Like there's some shots all the way up here. That's pretty bad shooting, fellas. Maybe calculate your aim just a smidge better. Could help you out tremendously in the long run. Either way, we do have clones starting to drop. We're having some boys starting to drop here. deaths are coming, and they are coming quickly. Whew. Okay, and the death toll is mounting for both sides. Actually, if you look at the top right there, both sides just sort of staying on par with each other for the most part. I mean, certainly not easy, but the Team 2 is the clone troopers, and Team 1 is the battle droids. The clones are like slightly ahead of the droids. They've got 22,000 kills. The droids have 19,000. So they do have that gap filled out a little bit, but it's nothing crazy. That's not something that like is insurmountable or anything along those lines. Like the droids can definitely win this, especially since they have 1,000,000 soldiers compared to 500,000 soldiers. Look at this though. This hillside battle is kind of crazy though. Is the same thing happening to the droids over this side? Not as much. Actually, the clones, I think, have the harder portion of the battlefield here. I think these little mounds, they're just charging up them and immediately getting shot down without being able to get much fire out. So I think the clones do have the harder side of the battle right now, and yet they've still got about 15,000 more kills than the Battle Droid Army right here. So despite them, you know, taking on potentially a greater challenge in this thing, they're still managing to clutch it up and make things happen. Out here in the open plain, though, it does look like over here the droids have that same situation going, so they have a harder part of the battle over here. Oh, the clones have the same thing right here, too. Yeah, well, kind of. They're actually managing to get over here, so not quite as much. But yeah, either way, I mean, right now the clones, despite being outnumbered a fair bit, seem to be doing big things for themselves. This is pretty crazy. We'll definitely have to see if the clones can win this, because right now they're not taking a triumphant enough lead. They have 30,000 more kills than the droids, but that is still not enough to break away from the droids having 1,000,000 soldiers. So why don't we go ahead and do a big old time lapse of this thing, and then we're going to do one more battle after this as well, because I think the clones do have a disadvantage in terms of the terrain here, and so maybe if we can readjust that in the next battle, they'll win it, because I'm not entirely sure they'll win this one, but again, never say never. We just have to wait and see. So let's get this time lapse going here, boys. Enjoy. Despite the clones somewhat pulling through a little bit here, it seems like it is going to be a droid victory. There's apparently 12 clones left alive somewhere. They're more than likely stuck, I guess, like in these rocks or something like that, maybe. But yeah, the droids, well, they got another victory. Well, just one victory, actually. This is their first. Let's try ramping this up. I think maybe it was the clones area on the battlefield that screwed them up. So let's try one more with a larger number 2, and then we'll get a better bearing for how the clones will perform. All right, this time we've got 2,000,000 battle droids versus 1,000,000 clone troopers, baby. All right, this is gonna prove whether or not the clones can win when outnumbered 2-to-1, because they won with that number the first time, but maybe it's not possible a second time. And here we go. The fighting does commence on the battlefield quite early this time. Still a lot of missed shots. It is what it is. All right, let's see how these phase 1s end up doing. I'm hoping we end up getting even more Star Wars characters in here. I hope we get some stuff from every single Legion. Obviously, that would be the dream. We'll see if that does end up happening, though, because there has not been a crazy amount of mods on Ultimate Epic Battle Simulator 2 as of yet. There's like about 40 or 50 on the Steam Workshop after a few days here. I was kind of hoping there'd be a lot more, but maybe people just got to get used to the modding system for this before a lot more mods are added or anything like that. But right now, the clones do have 11,000 kills. The droids had 5,000 at that time. So right now they are winning 2-to-1. So maybe last battle was a little bit of a fluke, and it was situational. We'll have to see if that ends up continuing here, because obviously things can go very, very wrong very, very quickly. But as you can see, there's a whole horde of clone troopers, a whole horde of battle droids, and they are just clashing right smack dab in the middle of this massive map. Whoo! This is a lot. All right, 54,000 clone kills, 41,000 droid kills. So the droids are starting to catch up a little bit here. The clones are not going to take this one home just right off the rip. They're going to have to fight for it. I'm guessing there's going to be a little bit of a push and pull on this, a little tug of war during the battle. to see who ends up getting the dubski. Droids like hammering home the point that they want to take this ridge. They are going hard on this ridge right now. Holy cow, 122,000 clone kills and 91,000 droid kills. So that's pretty impressive right there. Things are going pretty decently for the clones this time. It seems like they're getting like 1.5 droid kills for every clone kill. Or rather clone death, whatever. That's not gonna win them this. Maybe they can make it a little bit stronger, but maybe the clones really are more of like a 1.5 droids are worth 1 clone. I would like it if it was like 4 clones are worth 1 droid. I feel like that's more in line with like the actual lore of Star Wars. I don't know. I think one time I actually did research on this, and it was actually more like 20 or something droids are worth 1 clone. But 4 to 1 seems like a fair balance between like lore accuracy and actually balancing the game, if you feel me. Either way, 250,000 clone kills, 185,000 droid kills. Why don't we go ahead and run a little time lapse here and check out how this goes. Alright boys, this battle's winding down yet again, and actually the kills ended up being somewhat even once the clones lost all their troopers. They had a big advantage of like 100,000 or so kills, maybe even more. But then as the clones lost more and more troopers and stopped getting as many kills, the droids have caught back up, so it's about 1 million kills each, with another 1 million droids still left on the battlefield. So yeah, it's making me think maybe the first battle was a fluke. So I think what we need to do is I think we need to do 2 million clones versus 2 million battle droids just to see how that would hold up, if the clones would win again if it's even. Alright boys, here we go. 2 mil versus 2 mil. The final battle of the video. I think this will tell us the true breakdown. I think maybe I spoke a little too soon on the first battle when the clones only took 5,000 losses when the droids took 10,000. I thought it would be a 2-to-1 matchup, but evidently that might not be the case. Maybe it was a fluke, maybe it was a situational thing where the battlefield wasn't quite right. But now we're doing 2 mil versus 2 mil to truly see if this matchup will end in a clone victory or a droid victory. Maybe they are honestly perfectly even. Okay, so even just a little bit into this, the clones do have 400,000 kills already, and it's only been like 5 minutes, something like that. Kind of incredible. And the droids have 275,000 kills. So it seems like the clones are the dominant force here, but not quite as much as we had initially thought, I would say. I mean, they're definitely doing quite well for themselves, but not that 2-to-1 type dealio that we were originally looking at and anticipating. So why don't we go ahead and do another time lapse right here and check this out, see if the clones can manage to scrounge up a victory for themselves against these droids. I think they will. I think we just had the numbers off. Alright boys, the clones end up winning this thing. There's still 780,000 clone troopers left, so it's not quite 2-to-1, but it's pretty darn close. Good to know for future battles. Either way guys, thank you so much for watching. I really do hope you enjoyed. Please be sure to hit that like button if you did, subscribe if you have not already, and comment down below if you'd like to see some more in the future. I'll see you on the next one. Peace. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Be sure to click that subscribe button for more content, and hit the notification bell if you'd like to be alerted to whenever I live stream or upload. Thanks so much.